They've made you believe that menopause is the beginning of the end, that all you can do is endure the hot flashes, mood swings, insomnia, and that exhaustion that hits you without warning, as if all of this were normal and there was nothing else you could do. But what if I told you that everything you've been told about menopause is not just wrong, but dangerously misleading? My name is Susan, and after helping thousands of women navigate this transition, I've discovered something shocking. The women who struggle the most during menopause aren't the unlucky ones. They're the ones making 6 critical mistakes that sabotage their health every single day, and most of them have no idea they're doing it. Many women go through this stage in silence, feeling confused, alone, and even ashamed of what's happening to them. Meanwhile, they commit errors that seem small but gradually affect their body, mood, and quality of life. Mistakes repeated daily, often without anyone naming them, that sabotage their physical, hormonal, and emotional health without them noticing. The worst part? Most of these habits come from misinformation, from believing that menopause only leaves you with enduring, but that's not true. And here's what the medical establishment doesn't want you to know. There's a specific mistake, number 5 on my list, that's so silent and frequent that women are damaging their bodies day after day without even suspecting it. This mistake alone can accelerate aging, destroy your energy levels, and create health problems that could last for decades. But when you understand what it is and how to reverse it, the transformation is remarkable. Today, I'm going to reveal the 6 most common mistakes women make during menopause and, most importantly, how to avoid or reverse them to regain clarity, energy, well-being, and feel like yourself again. Because this stage isn't a downfall, it's a new beginning, but you need clear, real information without fear. Stay until the end, because what I share about mistake number 5 will change everything you thought you knew about your body during this transition. But before we talk about those mistakes, you need to understand something fundamental, because this stage is asking you for a different and much wiser way of taking care of yourself. Most women arrive at menopause like someone entering unknown territory without a map. Nobody teaches us how to prepare for this moment. They don't explain enough at home, at school, or even in many doctors' offices. We only hear vague phrases like, "It's just another stage," or "Your time will come," as if it didn't deserve attention or real understanding. And here's the disturbing truth that nobody talks about. The medical system has failed women when it comes to menopause. For decades, symptoms have been dismissed, minimized, or treated with a one-size-fits-all approach that ignores the unique complexity of each woman's experience. The pharmaceutical industry has profited from keeping women in the dark about natural solutions that could transform their experience. When it finally arrives, sometimes with hot flashes, insomnia, anxiety, dryness, or a sadness difficult to explain, many feel confused, broken inside, not knowing if what they feel is normal or if something is wrong. Some think they're sick, others that they're simply aging, and others that they have to stay quiet and endure. But the truth is different. What happens is that menopause isn't a disease, but it is a profound transformation at the hormonal, emotional, and physical level. And like all transformations, it needs preparation, attention, and a new type of self-care. The body no longer responds the same way. What worked before doesn't now. What was routine before can now cause inflammation, anxiety, or fatigue. The problem is that nobody told us we'd have to adapt. But what if I told you that the women who thrive during menopause have discovered something that goes against everything we've been taught? They've learned to work with their changing biology instead of against it. So, we're going to look in depth at those mistakes, not to point fingers at you, but to accompany you. Because if you're already going through this stage or know it's coming soon, you deserve to have the information that helps you live it with dignity, clarity, and power. And the first thing you need to know is where you're failing without knowing it. Before knowing the first mistake, let me make you an invitation. If you want to better understand the changes of each stage as a woman and learn how to take care of yourself physically and emotionally, subscribe now to Women's Health. Here you'll find useful information and support to live menopause with more well-being and peace of mind. The first mistake is continuing the same diet as before, even though your metabolism no longer responds the same way. For years you ate the same things. Your schedules were similar, your portions didn't change much, and your body responded well. But now, without realizing it, something started to get out of balance. You begin to notice that you get inflamed easily, that your digestion is slower, that you gain weight even though you're not eating more. And the question appears, what's happening? But here's what your doctor probably never told you. During menopause, your insulin sensitivity changes dramatically. Foods that never bothered you before can now trigger inflammatory responses that cascade throughout your entire system. This isn't just about weight gain. It's about your body entering a state of chronic low-grade inflammation that accelerates aging and disease risk. What happens is that with the arrival of menopause, your metabolism begins to function differently. The body no longer burns energy at the same rate. Muscle mass decreases and estrogens, which previously regulated many functions, begin to drop. The result is fat accumulation, especially in the abdominal area, and much higher sensitivity to certain foods. The most common mistake is insisting on following the same diet as always, believing that nothing has changed, but the truth is that your body no longer needs the same things. What was neutral before can now be inflammatory. What gave you energy before can now cause fatigue, bloating, or discomfort. And if you don't adjust your way of eating, that discomfort accumulates every day. This isn't about restricting or living on a diet. It's about adapting with intelligence and love. Your body needs more living foods with fiber, antioxidants, good fats. It needs fewer refined flours, less hidden sugar, fewer ultra-processed foods that alter your hormonal balance. And it also needs you to pay attention to your schedules, eat lighter dinners, chew better, drink enough water. The second mistake will shock you because it's the exact opposite of what most women do when they start feeling different. Mistake number 2 is stopping movement due to fatigue when precisely the body needs to be activated. Many women, when reaching menopause, begin to feel their body differently. A fatigue appears that doesn't resemble the one from before, deeper, more constant. Joints feel stiff, muscles weaker, and any physical effort seems heavier than before. And then the most common thing is to stop moving, thinking that the body can no longer handle the same things, that it's better not to force it. But that idea, although it seems logical, is one of the most dangerous mistakes because by stopping body movement, that same body shuts down, muscle mass is lost, metabolism becomes slower, and fat increase is facilitated, especially in the abdomen. Here's the secret that fitness experts don't want you to know. The type of exercise that worked in your 20s and 30s can actually harm you during menopause. High-intensity workouts can spike cortisol levels, which are already elevated due to hormonal changes, creating a perfect storm for weight gain and exhaustion. But there's a specific type of movement that can reverse these effects almost immediately. Circulation is also altered, the lymphatic system stagnates, and mood begins to deteriorate without us knowing why. Sedentarism becomes a vicious cycle. The less you move, the more fatigue you feel. The more fatigue, the less desire to move. And so each day you feel more disconnected from your own vital energy. But what many women don't know is that the body at this stage doesn't need more rest, it needs conscious movement. It's not about doing intense routines or going to the gym every day. It's about choosing forms of movement that respect this new version of you. Gentle walks, adapted strength exercises, yoga, stretching, dancing, whatever makes you feel alive without demanding too much from yourself. The goal isn't to exhaust yourself, it's to activate yourself. Movement stimulates the production of serotonin and dopamine, improves brain oxygenation, helps regulate hormones, and strengthens bones. Even walking 30 minutes a day can help you sleep better, think more clearly, and recover that energy you thought was lost. Moving isn't a demand, it's medicine that your body needs now more than ever. And the best part is that there's no age to start. Your body will thank you from the first step because you're not old, you're alive and deserve to feel it in every cell. But wait until you hear mistake number 3, because this one is literally stealing years from your life while you sleep, or rather, while you can't sleep. Mistake number 3 is not taking care of sleep, believing that insomnia is normal. One of the most common and at the same time most ignored symptoms during menopause is insomnia. Many women spend sleepless nights waking up in the middle of the early morning, feeling that their body is exhausted, but their mind can't disconnect. And yet, most think it's normal, that sleeping poorly is part of age, that you have to get used to it. But what isn't said enough is that sleep is a fundamental pillar for your health at this stage. It's not just rest, it's repair, hormonal balance, cellular regeneration, emotional stability. But here's the terrifying truth. Chronic sleep deprivation during menopause doesn't just make you tired, it fundamentally rewires your brain. Studies show that women who consistently get less than 6 hours of sleep during menopause have a 70% higher risk of developing dementia later in life. Your brain literally shrinks when you don't get adequate sleep during this critical transition period. Sleeping well helps control weight, improves memory, protects the heart, and reduces inflammation levels. And when you don't sleep well, everything becomes disordered. Your mood becomes unstable, your skin reflects it, your energy plummets. The most important thing is to stop normalizing insomnia. Your body is asking for attention, not resignation. You can start by establishing a nighttime routine, turning off screens at least 30 minutes before sleeping, avoiding heavy meals at night, reducing caffeine from the afternoon, and creating an environment conducive to sleep. Dark, silent, peaceful. And if despite that you can't rest, don't ignore it. Seek support. Consult. Your rest isn't a luxury, it's a biological necessity. Sleeping well isn't only possible during menopause, it's essential, because when you sleep your body regenerates, and when you deny yourself that rest you're dimming your light little by little. Before the 4th mistake, let's open a space to interact among all of us. Tell me in the comments what has been the most challenging thing for you during menopause, or what you would have liked to know before experiencing it. Let's share our experiences and build together a space of support and care for everyone. Mistake number 4 is rejecting any type of emotional or psychological help. During menopause, not only does the body change, but also the way you feel, think, and process what surrounds you. Some women experience sadness for no apparent reason. Others feel anxiety, irritability, lack of motivation, or simply a deep disconnection with what they used to enjoy. And often, instead of seeking help, they hide it, minimize it, endure it. This is one of the most painful and most common mistakes. Believing that emotional discomfort is something that should be silenced, that you have to overcome alone, or worse yet, that it's part of your character or being hormonal. And here's what the mental health industry doesn't want you to discover. There are natural compounds that can restore emotional balance during menopause more effectively than prescription antidepressants, without the devastating side effects. These solutions have been suppressed because they threaten billion-dollar pharmaceutical profits. Believing that asking for psychological support is a sign of weakness, when in reality it's an act of courage and deep self-care. During this stage, hormonal changes affect the neurotransmitters responsible for emotional balance. It's not drama, it's not exaggeration, it's biology. And if there are also life situations that intersect, like empty nest syndrome, relationship problems, unresolved grief, or insecurities with personal image, everything intensifies. Talking with a therapist, sharing with other women going through the same thing, allowing yourself to cry, let go, understand yourself without judgment. All of that is part of the process, because taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your body. And you deserve to go through this stage with emotional clarity, with real support, and with the freedom to feel whatever is necessary to heal. But now we come to mistake number 5, and I have to warn you, this one is so dangerous and so common that it could be shortening your lifespan right now without you even knowing it. Mistake number 5 is ignoring hormonal changes and not going to a professional. One of the most frequent and also most dangerous mistakes during menopause is ignoring what's happening internally, feeling the hormonal changes and believing you have to endure them without doing anything, thinking it's part of age, that it will pass, or that it's best not to go to the doctor because everything is normal. But that idea, although common, can distance you from the well-being you deserve. During this stage, the body goes through a profound transformation. Levels of estrogen, progesterone, and other fundamental hormones begin to decrease. And that imbalance doesn't only affect your menstrual cycle, it also alters your mood, sleep, skin, energy, memory, and even your bone and cardiovascular health. Here's the shocking reality that medical schools don't teach. Hormone replacement therapy has been deliberately demonized by a flawed study from 2002 that has since been debunked, but the damage was done. Millions of women have been denied safe, effective treatments that could prevent heart disease, osteoporosis, and cognitive decline. The medical establishment continues to perpetuate this misinformation while women suffer unnecessarily. It's not something you should ignore, it's something you should accompany. The big problem is that many women don't go to a professional, don't get hormonal checkups, don't consult about support therapies, don't ask if there are ways to alleviate symptoms, and resign themselves to living with discomforts, ailments, and doubts that could be avoided. Sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes thinking this happens to everyone. But the fact that it's common doesn't mean it's normal to live it in silence. Today, there are natural treatments, nutritional recommendations, integrative therapies, and even personalized medicine that can help you balance your body, alleviate symptoms, and improve your quality of life. And going to a professional doesn't mean you're sick. It means you're taking care of yourself with responsibility and love. But the 6th and final mistake might be the most heartbreaking of all, because it's stealing something precious from not just you, but from every woman who comes after you. Mistake number 6 is not talking about the topic out of shame, feeding the silence. There's a silence that weighs more than the symptoms, and it's the silence that many women keep when going through menopause. Some feel ashamed to tell that they no longer menstruate. Others hide their hot flashes, fatigue, mood changes as if they were signs of weakness. And many simply prefer to stay quiet. They don't want to make others uncomfortable, don't want to be seen as old, don't want to seem vulnerable. But that silence, although it seems like a way to protect themselves, becomes a burden, one carried in solitude. And the most painful thing is that many women believe they're alone in what they feel, when in reality thousands are living exactly the same thing. But nobody says it. Here's the conspiracy of silence that's been orchestrated for generations. Menopause has been deliberately stigmatized to keep women invisible during their most powerful years. This isn't accidental. When women understand their worth during menopause, when they claim their wisdom and refuse to disappear quietly, they become an unstoppable force that challenges every system designed to diminish them. Menopause has been for years a taboo subject, made invisible, associated with the end of youth, with loss of value, with a stage that should be lived in shadow. And it's time to change that, because talking about it not only heals, talking about it also liberates, opens paths, breaks fears, and creates networks among women who recognize each other, accompany each other, and strengthen each other. Menopause isn't a shame, it's a stage of maturity, wisdom, transformation. But to live it like that, you need to take it out of the corner, name it, look it in the face, because when you speak, you not only free yourself, you also give another woman permission to do the same. As final reflection and advice, if this video helped you identify common mistakes and how to avoid them during menopause, click like. This way you contribute so that more women access clear and necessary content for this important stage of life. Menopause isn't a sentence, it's a natural change. A new chapter that can be lived from discomfort or from conscious self-care. The difference is in how you choose to accompany yourself. The first thing is to understand that your body is speaking and doesn't need to be forced. It needs to be listened to. From this stage on, what you eat, how you move, how you rest, and how you speak to yourself has an even deeper impact. That's why it's the ideal moment to reconnect with your health from a more compassionate, more real, more loving place. Start by taking care of your nutrition. Prioritize living foods rich in fiber, antioxidants, healthy fats, and clean proteins. Reduce ultra-processed foods, refined sugar, and excess flours, not to punish yourself, but to feel lighter, with more energy, less bloated, more connected with yourself. Movement is also key. You don't need to demand from yourself like before, but you do need to move, walk, stretch, dance, do gentle strength exercises, or practice yoga. The body needs to be activated to release endorphins, to oxygenate, to recover that sensation of vitality that isn't lost with years. It only falls asleep if you let it. Your rest also deserves priority. Sleeping well isn't a luxury. It's what regulates your mood, hormones, concentration. Create sleep rituals. Turn off screens, eat light dinners. Give yourself a peaceful night. Your body needs that pause to repair and renew itself. And don't forget the soul. Talk about what you feel. Ask for support if you need it. Look for spaces where you can express yourself, understand yourself, and be understood. This stage shouldn't be lived in silence. It should be lived with information, with company, and with the freedom to accept that changing doesn't mean losing, it means evolving. Menopause can be the beginning of a wiser, more serene, more fulfilling stage, but only if you decide to live it awake, and you have that power because well-being doesn't come from outside, it starts within you. The women who master menopause don't just survive this transition, they use it as a launching pad for the most empowered, vibrant, and purposeful years of their lives. The question isn't whether you'll go through menopause, it's whether you'll emerge from it stronger than ever before. The choice is yours, and the time to make it is now.